Good morning, respected sir and dear all. Today's topic for General Club is vaccine efficacy against persistent human papillomavirus 16-18 infection at 10 years after 1, 2 and 3 doses of quadrivalent HPV vaccine in girls in India. It is a multi-center prospective cohort study. Introduction. A combined strategy of high coverage human papillomavirus vaccination of girls aged 9 to 14 years, twice lifetime screening of women at 35 years and 45 years of age, and effective treatment of those with cervical neoplasia can potentially eliminate cervical cancer as a public health problem. WHO estimated the global coverage of the HPV vaccine to be only 15% in 2019. The fragile health system of low-income and middle-income countries are inadequately prepared to face the challenges of delivering 2 doses of the vaccine to adolescent girls. Adoption of a single-dose schedule for the HPV vaccine could potentially address many of the challenges by improving affordability, by making the vaccination program logistically simpler, helping to tide over the supply crisis. We aim to describe the efficacy of a single dose of quadrivalent HPV vaccine compared with 2 or 3 doses to protect against incident and persistent HPV infection 10 years post-vaccination. Method. It is a multi-center cluster randomized trial. Age group unmarried girl aged 10 to 18 years. In India, initiated recruitment on September 1, 2009. 188 geographical clusters were identified at 9 locations spread across different regions of India. The plan was to recruit 10,000 girls in each dose group. In response to 7 vaccine-unrelated deaths, the Indian government issued a notification on April 8, 2010 to stop further recruitment and HPV vaccination in all clinical trials. Our study also stopped recruitment on that date. Until suspension, 17,729 eligible girls were recruited and had received at least 1 dose of the vaccine. After suspension of recruitment and vaccination, the trial was converted to a longitudinal prospective cohort study by default. Procedure. Each participant received 0.5 ml of the quadrivalent vaccine administered intramuscularly. After suspension of recruitment and vaccination, participants were distributed across 4 cohorts. Recipient of 3 doses on day 1, day 60 and day 180 or later is 3 dose cohort. Then recipient of 2 doses on day 1 and day 180 or later 2 dose cohort. Recipient of 2 doses on day 1 and day 60 or later 2 dose default cohort, and recipient of a single dose of the vaccine single dose default cohort. All participants are being followed up yearly, and the follow-up will continue for at least another 5 years up to August 2026. Participants become eligible to provide cervical specimen 18 months after marriage or 6 months after first childbirth, whichever was earlier. 1 cervical specimen was collected per year for 4 consecutive years. Participants in whom a new HPV infection was detected in the 4th sample were advised to return to provide a 5th sample after 1 year. Participants were invited to cervical cancer screening once they reached 25 years of age and were married. A well-validated HPV detection test, hybrid capture 2, was used as a screening test. Positive specimens were further tested with the HPV genotyping test for the detection of high-risk HPV type 16, 18 and 45. We recalled every FC2 positive participant for colposcopy, and a SID score of 5 or more on colposcopy are the candidate for obtaining the punch biopsy. But the test positive women not requiring the biopsy were recalled after 1 year for a repeat SC2 test. The first cohort of unvaccinated married women was recruited in 2013 to 2015. Participants belonging to the first unvaccinated cohort provide specimen for Luminex genotype assay and were also screened for the cervical cancer. And second cohort were recruited in the year 2017 to 2019, and women in this second cohort were only screened for the cervical cancer, and this is screening only cohort. Now, Luminex test is a type-specific assay. It detects 19 high-risk or probable high-risk type of HPV and 2 low-risk type of HPV. While the HC2 test is a semi-quantitative assay, it detects any of the 13 most oncogenic HPV types. The formalin-fixed cervical biopsy specimen was processed for the histopathology. This is the chart that showing that this study began as a 2-arm study, and 10,000 girls originally assigned for the 2 dose and 10,000 girls originally assigned for the 3 dose. But because of the suspension of the immunization program by the government in 2010, we have only 4,348 recipients of the 3 dose as per schedule, 4,980 recipients of the 2 dose as per schedule, 3,452 are the recipient of 2 dose by default, and 4,949 are the recipient of single dose by default. And all these participants are undergoing yearly follow-up and cervical specimen collection for the HPV genotype assay. Outcome. Primary outcome was persistent infection from HPV 16, 18 or both. Secondary outcome, incident infection from HPV 16, 18 and HPV 16, 18 related CIN2 lesion. Other exploratory outcome included persistent and incidence of any of one or more of HPV 6, 11, 31, 33 and 45 or any HPV type. Only Luminex assay outcome were used to assess the incidence and persistent infection. Statistical analysis. For the incident HPV infection outcome, analysis include participants who provide at least one cervical cell specimen, while the persistent HPV infection analysis include the participant who provide at least 2 cervical cell sample collection. Vaccine efficacy analyzed against incident and persistent infection both. In the first unvaccinated cohort, we use the non-vaccine targeted HPV type also to show that these non-vaccine targeted HPV types significantly predict the vaccine targeted HPV type. The potential confounder included baseline characteristic include the birth cohort and the religion, total number of pregnancy, age at first cervical sample collection and the number of cervical sample collection per participants. We estimated each participant disease risk score to obtain the estimate of the risk probability of being infected with a non-vaccine targeted HPV excluding 31, 33 and 45 type HPV. This is the table that showing the baseline characteristic of the participant in all 3 dose cohort and unvaccinated cohort. Most of the participants from Tamil Nadu, the birth cohort, they are most of from the birth from after the 1994 Hindu by religion. And this is the table showing baseline characteristic of the participant that provide the cervical sample. Now result. Vaccinated participants were recruited between September 1st, 2009 and April 8, 2010. 8 month तक इन्होंने पूरा जितने भी पार्टिसिपेंट इन्होंने रिक्रूट करे. तो फर्स्ट अनवैक्सीनेट, फिर उसके बाद जो अनवैक्सीनेटेड इन्हें कोहार्ट स्टार्ट किया स्टडी के लिए, दैट इज़ फर्स्ट कोहार्ट अप्रैल 29, 2013 टू जून 16, 2015 and second unvaccinated cohort recruited October 6, 2017 to June 27, 2019. 4,348 participants were included in the, इन्होंने जो सर 20,000 लिए थे ना, उन्होंने जो बाय डिफ़ॉल्ट 3 डोज 2 डोज डिफ़ॉल्ट कोहार्ट, इनमें से 4,348 participants include in the 3 dose cohort, 4,980 participants 2-dose cohort, 3,452 in the 2-dose default, and 4,949 participants in the single-dose default cohort. 1,541 first unvaccinated cohort and 3,631 in the second unvaccinated cohort. The mean duration of the follow-up was 9 years for the vaccinated participants. Of the total 17,729 vaccinated women, either 3-dose, 2-dose or single dose, 10,915 were eligible for the HPV genotype. Among these 10,915, the frequency of incident infection, the participant who gave only one cervical cell specimen, is 9,183. So the incident of HPV 16-18 infection were detected in 3.1% of 983 vaccinated women, and it is 9.4% of unvaccinated women. So the incident infection is more in unvaccinated women. The frequency of HPV 16-18 incident infection among the single dose recipient was 3.2%. and it is similar to that observed in other dose schedule. Incident infection from cross-protective HPV type, HPV 31, 33 and 45 was less frequent in vaccinated women than in unvaccinated women without any difference observed between the 3-dose, 2-dose or single-dose default cohort. Frequency of incident infection from all vaccine non-targeted type was lower in vaccinated women than in unvaccinated women. Among 10,915 vaccinated women eligible to provide cervical specimen, persistent infection was assessed. And a woman who provided at least 2 cervical cell samples, 6,673. So the persistent HPV 16-18 infection was observed only in 7 patients of vaccinated women. It is 0.1%, with similar frequency observed between the single dose and other dose cohort. While a single case of persistent HPV 16 infection was observed among the single dose recipient. There was no case of persistent HPV 18 infection in this group. Unvaccinated women had a high frequency of persistent infection than the vaccinated women, 7 of 6,673 women. Persistent infection from the cross-protective HPV type was less frequent in vaccinated women than in unvaccinated women. This is the table that's showing the percentage of the vaccinated and unvaccinated women of HPV 16 and 18. So the women with HPV 16 and 18 infection, so the incidence was 9.4% in unvaccinated women, while it is overall 3.1% in vaccinated women, and the frequency percentage is almost same in 3-dose, 2-dose and 2-dose default group, and same is for HPV 16 and 11 infection, non-vaccine targeted HPV type and non-vaccine other targeted excluding 31, 33 and 45. So our study provides evidence to support that a single dose of HPV vaccine fulfill the conditions set out by the IARC expert group to be considered as protective against cervical cancer caused by HPV 16 or 18, the type responsible for at least 70% of cervical cancer detected globally. The antibody concentration in single dose recipient stabilized 18 to 24 months after vaccination and remains sustained at a level higher than that observed after natural infection for at least a decade, thus explaining the durable protection observed in our study. This is the Kaplan-Meier graph that show that is the incidence of the HPV 16 and 18 infection is higher in unvaccinated cohort, and it is almost same in all single dose, 2-dose and 3-dose cohort. And this is the graph showing incidence of HPV 31, 33 and 45 infection. Again it is higher in unvaccinated group and lower in vaccinated group. The effect of participant characteristic of frequency of other non-vaccine targeted HPV type, excluding 31, 33 and 45 among unvaccinated women. Time between date of marriage and first cervical specimen collection and number of cervical specimens per participant were the only independent predictor of incidence of other non-vaccine targeted HPV type. This is the table showing baseline characteristic of the participant in unvaccinated cohort. Adjusted vaccine efficacy. Adjusted vaccine efficacy against incident HPV 16-18 infection in the single dose recipient was 63.5%, which was similar to the vaccine efficacy observed in two-dose cohort. In two-dose cohort, it is 67.7% and in three-dose cohort, 66.4%. It is almost similar. So, this is the table that's showing the vaccine efficacy against incident HPV 16-18 infection. It is 63.5% in single-dose cohort, 67.7% two-dose and 66.4% in three-dose cohort. And against incidence HPV 16-18, 6 and 11 infection, vaccine efficacy was 54.1% in single dose, 59% in two dose and 54.7% in three dose cohort. So the vaccine efficacy was almost similar in all three dose cohort. Again, this is the table showing the vaccine efficacy. It is almost similar. For persistent infection. For persistent HPV 16 and 18 infection, adjusted vaccine efficacy for single dose default cohort was 95.4%, two dose cohort 93.1% and three dose cohort 93.3%. So the HPV screening test was positive in 4.1% of 4,819 vaccinated women and 6% of unvaccinated women. HPV 16 and 18 using the Diagen PS test was detected in one of 1037 3-dose recipients, 0.1% of 3-dose recipient, 0.3% of 2-dose recipient and 0.1% of all single-dose recipient. But it is 1.4% of unvaccinated women. The single case of CIN3 detected in vaccinated women was a single dose recipient. She was negative for HPV 16 and 18 both on Luminex assay and Diagen PS test. No CIN2 or invasive cancer was detected in the vaccinated cohort. 5 cases of CIN2 or CIN3 were detected among the unvaccinated women, 3 of which were associated with HPV 16 or 18. 1 case of invasive cancer not associated with HPV 16 or 18 was detected in the unvaccinated women cohort. Discussion. Based on systemic follow-up of more than 4,000 adolescent girls receiving a single dose, our study has demonstrated very high efficacy of 1 dose of quadrivalent vaccine against persistent infection from HPV 16 or 18, which is sustained until 10 years post-vaccination. Vaccine efficacy of 1 dose was no different from that observed for 2 or 3 doses of the same vaccine. Several countries, including introducing the HPV vaccine into their national immunization program, have demonstrated high efficacy of a single dose similar to that of higher number of doses against vaccine-targeted HPV infection, anogenital wart, and histopathology proven CIN2 lesion. Limitation of the study are the non-randomized design of our study, the higher frequency of non-vaccine targeted HPV infection observed in our unvaccinated cohort than in the vaccinated cohort indicate an imbalance in the risk of infection between the two groups. The proportion of participants eligible to provide sample for genotyping was different across the dose group. The large sample size, systematic follow-up of the participant over many years, blinded assessment of the outcome. Use of two independent HPV detection tests are the major strength of the study. We believe that documentation of only a single case of persistent HPV-16 infection among 2,136 single dose recipients strongly support the high efficacy of a single dose. Conclusion. A single dose of HPV vaccine, even with somewhat lower efficacy but with higher coverage, can have greater population level effect than two doses. Herd immunity created in the population through high coverage could potentially compensate for any waning protection of a vaccine over time at an individual level. A judicious recommendation to introduce a single dose of HPV vaccine and ensure high coverage of HPV vaccination will contribute to elimination of cervical cancer in a more affordable manner.